Hey, hello. My name is Maria. I'm the creator of The Money Principle, a blog where I teach people in financial trouble how to build sustainable wealth. Today, I'd like us to chat about building savings. Let me make it clear from the very beginning, this is not a video about saving 5 pence on a tin of beans. This is about building savings or building a cash reserve against the vagaries of life. What I'm going to do today is to convince you, or at least to try to convince you, that building savings is not complicated. It is not something we need to overthink, but it is very simple, and that there is only one thing you have to learn to do to build considerable savings and put your money destiny on the right path. But before we begin, let me ask you, how much savings do you have at the moment? Okay, now you know. Let me tell you, if you have over £1,000 savings, you're doing really well, and you're certainly doing much better than considerable proportion of the British and the US population. The latest research shows that most people around don't save enough for emergencies or for their dignity in older age. Over the weekend, I went to London, where there was a panel at this conference on whether we save enough and whether our saving patterns have changed. It was a very interesting thing, because the whole thing started very well, in a very structured way, but it was a bit technical. And by the end of this discussion, people from the audience, young people from the audience, were saying, but I can't save. So I don't have any money to save. So how do I build savings? Which made me realize something that is very key to building savings. What instruments, financial instruments, you use to put your money in is actually a technicality. There is only one thing that you have to watch and remember if you want to build savings and eventually turn them into investments. And this one thing is the following. If you imagine that this is your life and this is your money, the only thing that your money does is it nourishes your life. So you use the money you bring in every month to pay for the life you live. If there is money left after you pay for your life every month, you can build savings. Okay? If your life is more expensive than the money you bring in, you are very likely to be building debt. That's it. It's that simple. Okay? Now, where it becomes a bit more complicated is in the following. First, to be able to know whether your life is more or less expensive than the money you bring in, or in technical terms, whether you have positive cash flow or negative cash flow every month, you need to know in great detail and down to a couple of pounds, I would say, what your life costs every month and what are these costs. And you have to know how much money you bring in every month and what you get paid for. Mind you, this is kind of not a trivial matter, because a lot of people rely only on their salaries, but there sometimes is other money that comes in variety of forms. Now, to figure all this out, you can use different tools on the internet, but since you're on the Money Principle anyway, of course you can have a look on the Money Principle monthly budget planner. I'm including the link in the text box below this video. Now, once you know whether your life is more or less expensive than the money you bring in, then you have to start looking in detail at your life and at the money you bring in. About your life, you have to ask yourself, is this really the life I want to lead? Is this my life? And you have to remember that you have to find the courage to live the life you really want. So, for example, do you want this fairy tale wedding that costs you £30,000? So, making these decisions regarding your life and what you really want in your life is incredibly important. And then, once you figured out what your life is and what you would like your life to be, you have to look at your money, because it's very likely that you figured out that your life doesn't need to be as expensive and you can release some cash flow from this. But let's face it, a lot of people in the UK earn much less than even a basic life costs. So then you have to start looking at your money and try to figure out how to increase your income. The only focus that would allow you to build savings is focusing on the difference between the cost of your life and the money you bring in every month. If you ensure that there is money left in your bank account every month after you've covered the costs of your life, you will build savings. And don't make your life more complicated than it is. And please have a look at your cash flow and start building savings now. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please press the like button. Bye bye.